Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Eternity Speaks. Reverend Bill is incapacitated this morning. He is, I think, still moving, so we will carry on again without him. Today, we're going to be hearing from St. Christopher. I'm sure all of you are familiar with him. Many of you are wearing his medals. Uh, one quick word: Messages of God for a Modern World. Every Wednesday, we bring you a channeled message from Jesus, and this book is a synopsis of about 60 of those messages. It's available on Amazon. You can do it on softcover. It's available on ebook. It's a wonderful book. His messages are wonderful things. I invite you to tune in and listen to us on Wednesdays, and you can hear what he has to say. So this morning, we're going to hear from St. Christopher. I'm sure you're all familiar with him. He's standing here waiting. So we might as well just begin. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for allowing me to speak to you this morning. Many of you are traveling very difficult paths. I know many of you ask me to protect you as you travel, but many of you really need protection in traveling your personal paths. If you listen to the messages that Barry brings and you know that you're all on life plans, you laid out those life plans before you returned, and those life plans include lessons that need to be learned. Many of you wear my name. My necklaces are around many of your necks, and many of you ask me for protection. But maybe you should also be asking me to help guide you on your life plan path. Your life plan path is much more difficult than these intermediate trips that you seek safety for. You see, your life plan is the most important thing that you will ever try to follow. If you follow it successfully, then when you return, your soul will advance. Things will be better for you in heaven. You'll be able to do many things. Oh, you'll be able to really travel when you get to heaven, and you won't need my protection. If you're in an upper level, you can do many things. Heaven's indescribable. Barry continuously asks us to describe what heaven is like, and we can't, even though we're here. We live in heaven much longer than you ever live in incarnate lives. The path that you take in your incarnate life is short, but very difficult. Today, you're facing many hardships. I know it's difficult for you. It's hard to make enough income to support your family. Higher educations are ridiculous in price. The options that many of you are being left with in raising your family are becoming quite limited. But there's always one option that's available to you, and that is to follow God's words. You see, he's making a point now of bringing you his messages. Humans are at a tipping point. Evil is growing very rapidly. The fact that many people have been able to accumulate great wealth and use it to pursue evil is making it much more difficult for those of you that do not have access to great wealth or even to honest information. If you were setting out on a journey, you would do your best to know what path to take on that journey. Well, your life is the same. as taking a simple journey. You need to know what path you need to take. Your incarnate life is filled with many, many path choices. Now, keep in mind when you're born, you don't have any idea what is going to take place around you. As you become more aware of things, you know that your mother and father are trying to surround you with love, or at least I hope they are. That's another problem today. Many parents aren't taking care of their children. Many parents would rather take drugs, go dancing, listen to music, do many things other than providing the guidance that their children require. Let me get back to my concept of knowing where you're going on a journey. If you follow God's words, then you know where you're going. You may not know every twist and turn, but God's words act as the compass for your journey through life. You have many people helping you along the way. You have guides, you have angels, you have God. Pray to me, you have me. I'll give you guidance. Think of all this help as road signs on your path of life. Wherever you travel through life, there are road signs. Now, many of you are going to choose to ignore those signs because it's easy. Sometimes it's a lot easier to ignore the signs than to do what's right. Now, if you're driving on this backcountry road and you ignore the signs and you get off the road, you might get stuck. It might be very muddy and your vehicle might get stuck. It could be snow. There's many ways to get stuck, just as there's many ways of evil. Evil is going to try to make you take that side road where you get stuck. Now, we'll try to get you out. We'll try to give you advice. We'll try to tell you how to get back on that path. You see, you can always get back on the proper path. It's never too late. You can always make the decision to go to the words of God and put yourself back on that proper path. There are many, many ways of making a bad turn, but it's one way to get back on the path. Very simple. You do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now, I know you hear that almost every time Barry speaks, but that is like the most important message that we can ever give you. If you simply act like that, you'll find yourself back on the path of God. Many of you ignore that fact. Many of you will steal from others. Many of you will create violence. Many of you will show anger and hatred. Think about that. You don't want that to happen towards you. Why do you do it to somebody else? You see, the common sense of the golden rule is the master sign that puts you back on the path to God. Now you might ask yourself, why do I want to go on the path to God? I'm having a pretty damn good life. I got my yacht. I got people doing what I want them to do. They're serving me. I'm getting fat and happy. I'm not going to waste my time going to church or following a religion or even thinking about God. I never saw him. God doesn't exist for me. I can't see it. Now I can see my money. Love seeing my money. but I can't see God, so why should I believe in him? Money's real, God isn't. Well, guess what? Your money's not real, but God is. That simple realization should wake you up, but many don't care. All they can think about is how they can enjoy what they're doing, how they can get the best advantage of others, how they can make more money, how they can abuse others. Oh, the list is endless. That's evil. Evil's endless. The more you learn about evil, the more you understand the tentacles that of evil are everywhere. When you make that simple journey and pray to me, you're asking that we watch over you as you get in your car and drive somewhere, get in an airplane, fly, do whatever you want to do. You're asking for protection because you see the realization that maybe something's going to happen to your precious human body while you're traveling. So you ask for help. Why don't you ask for help for the path of your soul? Many of you are traveling terrible paths. It's not going to help you. When you die, oh, yeah, you're going to die. You all are. That's something you're going to face. Many of you are going to fear it. But you see, if you followed the roadsides through your life, you know that the path of your soul is secure and you have nothing to worry about. You have nothing to fear in death if you followed the road signs of God. See how simple it is? Many of you are growing older. As you grow older, you think more about your passing. That's only normal because it's getting closer to you. Death, you think, or many of you think, is final, but it's not. Death is the beginning. Death is the magnificent beginning of your soul taking the pathway to heaven. If you followed the roadsides, many will be there to greet you. You will see your family members. You will see this magnificent, incredible place of brilliant color. We have tried to tell you a little bit about heaven. You spend much more time in heaven than you do in an incarnate body or on any other planet. When you are in human form, it's pretty simple to believe that human form is all that there is. You see, God made it that way. He wants you to have faith. You have to have faith that He exists. Now, if you're listening to me speak today, you probably have a pretty good faith in your heart. You're taking the time to tune in, you're taking the time to listen, and you're taking time to hear words coming directly from a messenger of God. You see, that's a miracle. Many people say, oh, we've never seen a miracle, but all they had to do is sit in and listen. Barry has no idea what he's saying. He's saying my words. I'm a messenger of God. He's speaking my words as a messenger of God. He's telling you how to live your life. He's showing you how to find happiness, and he's telling you how not to fear death. What more could you want? But there's people out there that want more. They want their fancy yachts, their fancy houses, and they could care less about helping others. Well, when they return, maybe God's going to care less about helping them. You ever think of it like that? He's going to look at how those people lived their lives and ignored helping others. And he may just turn his back on you, your soul, and allow karma to take place and for your soul to go into lower levels where you will be like those that you did not help. Think about that. When you're in your fancy car and you're driving down the street and you see that poor homeless person there, or maybe a homeless woman with several children holding a sign begging for food, and you just drive by. You don't help them. You could care less. They're trash. They are not trash. God sent them there for you to help them. What do I have to do to get through to make you believe that? You want me to help you travel on your path, and you want to keep traveling past people that need help with their path. That makes no sense. Sometimes I get very, very frustrated. I guess you can tell that in my voice this morning. Sometimes these people ask me to help them, and they have absolutely no intention to ever help anyone else. Why do they think that we would pay more attention to them than to people that truly need their help and guidance? God loves everyone. That is a simple fact. There is a spark of his energy in everyone, and he loves all. He loves those that don't believe in him. He loves those that do believe in him. God is the great equalizer. God, through his influence, will help you along the road that leads to heaven. God will advise anyone. God will allow a new beginning for anyone. God will help show them how to live that new beginning. And God will do anything he can do to help influence you to do what is right. I will help guide you on your path, not just those little short-term trips that you're thinking about, but your real path. Your real path leads to heaven. If you show charity towards others, eliminate anger and hatred, you're pretty much on your way. Humans, you got to hit them over the head with a brick. It is very hard to show them the simplicity of the path that they should be taking. They would rather be depressed. They would rather fear death. They would rather do many things than just simply show the love of God, have faith, and follow his messages. I want to thank you so much for listening today. I hope I didn't bore you. Sometimes I get a little emotional, but I see so much hypocrisy. People want guidance in their little personal trips, but not in their true path on the road to heaven. Think about your priorities. Your road to heaven is your main priority. You're gonna take that path to heaven. You're gonna die. Everyone is. Be prepared for it. Don't fear it. Love God, and believe me, all will be well. So thank you for listening. If I haven't bored you, maybe you can ask and I'll return again sometime. So goodbye. I know God is here. He's blessing you. He's always with you. He's always there. and he always only ever means the best for you. So goodbye. Thank you for listening. Okay, not much modest about him. Next week, we're going to speak with an archangel, Ariel. We haven't had an angel on for a while, so I thought it might be a good idea. They look at things a little differently than the heavenly spirits, but they're still wonderful. So thank you so much for listening. Check us out on Wednesday mornings and hear Jesus's messages as well. So thank you. Thank you for listening. We'll be back again next week. We'll have an archangel for you, and we will see you then.